विश्वास कर मन वचन को, चढ़ु आप संत की राह हो। ज्यों सूर रन में धसे फिर, पाछे न चितवै काह हो। This is very important, and why this is because it is giving the qualities of a practitioner, a student. When a student will follow these things, he will or she will become a disciple at some point in time. Otherwise, remains a student. First is Vishwasukar. You'll have to have some amount of trust. You'll have to have some amount of faith to begin with. Because unless until you have this, even this faith that I am going to get something from here, you will not be able to take any words of or advice from the person. Right? So Vishwasukar, and this faith has to be man vachan. Right? That means sometimes people, you will find people say, you don't trust my word. They will, on the face, they will say, no, we trust. No, we trust. But in their deeper, whatever deeper mind, in their deeper being, they are doubtful about it. Right? They keep, browsing, reading, accumulating, comparing. All these things happen. Now, this is how this needs to be curbed, because this is a very common tendency. This is how our mind is. This is a very common tendency. Very common tendency. And what is it? That on superficial, on the surface, you say, I believe, and the inner currents are not supporting. How to know how to deal with this issue? Now, this depends on individual to individual. Because some people have this tendency to see some chamatkar before they start believing in a person. And and everybody has a different notion of chamatkar. This is also, everybody has a different notion of chamatkar, because whatever is in their life is lacking, or whatever they feel that it is beyond all the rules which are established by nature, or they tend to believe that they will receive something without any efforts. Now, these are chamatkar, right? Or guru will defy gravity, or defy time and space, or he will be passing his body through the burning flames and not getting affected by all that, or that he will do whatever you cannot do. See, this particular feeling of chamatkar depends on how do you treat somebody as superior. Right? How and what is the criterion of your respect? See, what is the criterion of your respect? Right? And this also depends a lot on what do you actually lack in your life. Right? Because your respect is generally comparative. If somebody can do what you cannot do, then you think that he is someone to follow, or look up to. Now, there is issue here. There is one very, very critical issue here. If you look at the life of any saint, any person who has gone through this process of enlightenment and has known the truth within, it is quite possible that his life outside will remain the same. So whatever happens, happens inside, and all your expectations are on outside, right? So if you insist that there should be such and such demonstration first, you know, be given to you, right, so that you are convinced, it is not possible, because not everybody is in this kind of business. I'll tell you, accidentally it happens that saints or you see, enlightened people manifest chamatkar. They don't manifest it for everybody. They don't manifest it all the time, and they don't manifest it because they want to. Please understand. If it would have been so, then anybody who is lacking in faith, such a show or grand show can be organized. But the problem is, even if you are given certain such kind of what you call law breaking instances, then also you will not have complete faith, because you do not value anything subtle which is more closer to you. You are still stuck up in the outer physical material world. Chamatkar should happen there. The best chamatkar probably would be for a person to experience that in the company of such a person, your mind just starts coming back to its least agitated state. This is chamatkar. If you are simply aware of this fact, if you are simply aware of this particular notion of chamatkar, because this is the biggest chamatkar. Other chamatkars can be posed by any well-trained magician. There are so many magicians who can do so many things, which an ordinary, even the so-called enlightened yogi will not be able to show them. But they are able to do it. But what does happen to you when they show such a magic to you? Your mind gets more agitated rather than being tranquil, coming back to its motionless, avichal, or what you call, state. Agitation increases with the events of chamatkar. Agitation of mind increases. So most of enlightened people do not show chamatkar. Why? There are two things. One, on the spot also the agitation happens. The mind starts, groping for the reason. You see, you don't accept chamatkar as such. Chamatkar means there is something happened which was not supposed to happen. So you will definitely have 1,000 questions in your mind. How can this happen? Right? Even if you bow down, lie on the feet of such a person that aap chamatkari purush hain, you are so great, but still buddhi level or at intellect level, you will be questioning how come that can happen. So this only leaves you with a question rather than any satisfactory state of mind where from the journey can start. Right? So this agitated state, number one. Number two, some people expect chamatkar when they are in distress, when they are surrounded by some issues, some problems. These are not the normal, abnormal kind of chamatkar. Within the framework of the normal day-to-day life, they want chamatkars to happen. For example, somebody has lost a job. They would want that chamatkar should happen, that they should get a job. Somebody has, become very sick. They would want that this sickness should go away. These are the things. So even then also, if by God's grace, by the Swatantra Shakti, which we call of Shiva, if such a chamatkar is once manifested, right, then this is again a beginning of expectation. Now, anytime you are faced with difficult situations in life, you don't want to accept them now. You feel that it can be changed. My great guru, my great teacher has powers who will be able to change. And the biggest lesson probably on the path of spirituality is complete 100% acceptance. So how does chamatkar help? It does not. So only when somebody clarifies this to you, that she's showing chamatkar is not what you are looking for. In fact, when you are really interested in knowing the truth, the first chamatkar and the topmost chamatkar is that you will have a stillness in mind in the presence of such people, right? And you will have a kind of whatever worries, whatever way you are feeling agitations, when you remember them, and just the remembrance of such people brings out some strength, support. This is chamatkar. Understand? So even for somebody to become a disciple, he has to sufficiently listen to the teacher. Otherwise, his whole notion of finding a teacher will fall in a wrong track. And where from we get all these notions? You know, these kind of books actually have done more disservice than anything else. Oh, autobiography of a yogi, autobiography of a yogi, right? Now, he must have written all this. He must have seen all this. Even we have seen all that. But does it mean that we should just make it, we should become a promoter of such events, such things? We become a mouthpiece for such things? I don't approve of it. Once in a while, when you're talking to your intimate people, those who have actually already started their journey, you can talk of these things. But if you start supplying such stuff to all those who have still not begun their journey, it will become a problem for them. They will continue to toil throughout their life in search of looking for such chamatkars. And I'll tell you, most of people who are interested in showing chamatkars, they are still in the domain of all five tattvas. So they are not liberated. That is also an issue. So they will reach to a wrong person altogether. They will never get to that true journey then. So this man vachan, that means of mind and of your speech, at both the levels, some trust has to be there. And this trust can be ignited in you if you have the right notions about life and correct kind of notions about the spiritual search and what is it and how and what is the prerequisite of it. That means you know now that if our mind is not stilled, if our mind is not able to concentrate, nothing can be achieved in spiritual domain. Correct? Third, if our sensitivities do not heighten, if we are not sensitive to subtler things do not get noticed by us, then also it is just not possible, because you will be finding, even if you are growing, you will not be, even if you are experiencing some changes, even if the changes continue to happen within you, outside you, and if you are not sensitive enough, right, it will be difficult for you to stay motivated. So a guru has to work on three things. One, calming your mind, right? Giving you right notion, right understanding that what are those things which are necessary for you to grow on a spiritual path. Second and third, he should make you sensitive enough so that you are able to notice whatever changes are happening. If this can be done, then chamatkar. What is chamatkar? This chamatkar in the Panchatattva domain, the one which is born is going to die, is the rule. The one which has appeared will disappear, is a rule. Acceptance, if something like that comes to you in the presence or in the light of the teachings of any person, then this is chamatkar. Understand? The real chamatkar is this, that you have been able to accept the truth, the reality as it is. The illusory vision, the blurred understanding has vanished. This is chamatkar. Right? So from mind and speech, both, one should exhibit this trust. Minimum, bare minimum, this much is needed. Right? Some coherence has to happen. Sometimes you find people think something else, speak something else, speak something else, and think something else. Parallelly, there are two voices going on in them. And this is not needed. You see, what we need, a synthesized personality, a crystallized ego, wherein all the sense organs and mind and inner faculties are consolidated and put in some kind of a search or activity or practice or whatever. This consolidation, this synthesis of human being is chamatkar. Understand? No. This need not be told to such people who are already experiencing and practicing, these practices since long they are doing and they have been observing. But even then, these things need to be told again and again. These things need to be told again and again. As a human, we are pulled back to the original state of animal. That is our ground state, ground zero. If you stay afloat, it is effort. If you become animalistic, if you become expectant, if you desire for things to change, if you desire for things to go your way, this is quite animalistic. This is very, very natural. So one who has raised even a little bit more on that, see, whatever comes, I accept. This is the biggest probably challenge among people. Please look at it. What is your challenge today? Your challenge is the life is not happening the way I like. The life is not happening the way I would have. I have, even at this moment, life is not happening the way I want. Even Acharya Ji is also not talking the way I want. I wanted him to discuss something else. I wanted him to tell something more secret, something more connected to the practices. Maybe this also. And this pushes you off this right now, presence, what you call. Your availability is gone for a toss. You are living your life in which you say, I'm not finding joy. I'm not amazed what is happening. See, good or bad is a discussion which can be taken up at any point in time. But am I amazed with the way life is happening? Am I feeling great, sense of awe the way life is unfolding? Am I ready to, you know, I'm eagerly waiting for the next moment to unfold, but still rooted in this moment, not that I in imagination, moving to the next moment in my mind, being available here and still expecting. You see, I'll tell you, the one who can expect without expecting is the candidate. The one who can wait without expecting is the candidate. Both ways. Some people can do this, some people can do that. Expectance, this in the meditation, what you expect, but nothing in particular. That is what I'm saying. That means you are just open. Being open, being available to what comes is the most, I'll say, fascinating chamatkar if you get this quality in front of any teacher. I'm not saying you can get this quality serving your cows also. Then cows will become your teacher. The situations also. This situation can come serving your parents also. There is no fixed notion or time, or there is no fixed standard for this, that okay, this way I will this has to happen through a teacher only, right? So the moment it happens, the growth starts. Until the time it remains, the growth happens. Don't think that I stay in such a way for 10 minutes and then it is my achievement. Yes, it is your achievement, but for 10 minutes. So expect the results of 10 minutes. That means on a given day, a laborer goes to work, works for 10 minutes, then what should he expect? The payback of 10 minutes, right or not? He can't say, I do such a quality job. You see how much quality job I do. Don't you see? Even if he's the best worker, most skillful in any company, but if he does the work only for 10 minutes, do you think that he will be paid for the whole year salary? No. But we expect this. We reached a very deep level. You see, in my meditation, I reached very deep level. Yeah, today I felt I was with myself. And then what? How long? It would have been probably, I don't remember the time, but at least I saw that I should have been in this state for 5 minutes. Good, kudos, talia. But 5 minutes ka result is available to you, right? You don't have to worry. The 5 minute ka result you have already enjoyed. That is what is making you so much, elated, feeling joyous. 5 minute ka result is available. But with this 5 minutes effort, if you think that you have become a sadhak who is a high quality sadhak, is not right. A high quality sadhak should be staying in such a state almost all the time. Only occasionally he will be thrown off that state. Occasionally. It's not that always all the people, even siddhas, get thrown off that state. And just now you were reading in Durga Sapta Shloki, Jnaninam api chetansi. Even if you are a Jnani, Bhagavati, Mother Divine, her designs, are so powerful that you can be thrown off balance. A Jnani can also be thrown off balance. Possible. But one who is aware notices it, that he has gone off balance. And therefore he strives and immediately comes back. Right? So all of you should always strive for this kind of state where you are expecting life to happen. And wait, what is next? What next? Be full of positivity. Because nothing in life is negative. Even death comes with a positivity. It comes with the promise of a new life. What is negative about it? A body which was not sustaining this life form, you know, the entity was not able to operate, the consciousness was not able to operate from this life. Then what best? Best is like move on, right? Even death comes with a promise of new beginning, which is positive only. But we can't insist. Okay, my life, uh, I have a broken leg, I have gotten a stroke, my right eye is not perfect, the left eye is cataract, I can't hear, my heart is 80% blocked, and therefore, no, therefore, no, therefore, and therefore I should. No, therefore, you will be here as per your own plans, which you don't know. So don't insist. Even if you want, you will die. Even if you try that somebody else should die, it will not happen. He will be there. You can't undo his life. You can't undo your own life. And there are people who will have this kind of thinking that, hey, people do commit suicide. How about them? So okay, it is in your action domain even now, right? If somebody feels like that his body is not supporting and that should come, then it is very much in their domain of action now. But they don't take that action right now. Not everybody takes that action. So what should we deduce from this? Only till the time one has written one's script stays here, right? You can't be sent back. You can't go back like that. That things are not moving my way. Sure. Okay. Physically you can do something, but it will happen only when that time has come. So what I was saying is that if we are living in this positive weight, what I call a positive weight, just be positive and wait on how life will unfold, whatever way life unfolds. If you have learned certain basics, you will always be detached with it and also enjoy. Not that you will suffer. You can't suffer. Certain basics you should know. The basic, the one which comes, goes, the one which appears, diminishes. Right? These two things only if you are clear in your mind that things will come and go. Things will come and go. And I can't insist whether they stay or whether they go. Simple. If you're clear about it, life is not at all a burden or suffering, because you have accepted the most critical or most difficult part of it. And once you are able to accept this much, I can tell you, you will be able to even see through a person and also understand whether such a person who is in front of me is capable of guiding me or not. You see, such a person can choose, not you. Such a person who has become at least the one who is rooted in Vairagya, Vitaragya, but positive. This is not enlightenment, let me tell you. This is the way to live life. Don't think it means enlightenment. It only means I am living life without experiencing the suffering part of it. Only this much is needed. And then trust comes. Then trust comes. Correct? So few things you need to work on. Trust cannot come directly. Few things, few exercises you have to do. To develop your trust on your even nursery teacher, kindergarten teacher, you must go and sit for some time in the school. Then only in this kind of thing. Something she will teach, something you will learn. Even to develop that trust, some sort of things should happen. There are some prerequisites. To develop that kind of attitude also, you have to be there in the company of your teacher. Right? Otherwise, it won't come. So day one, no, first day, first show, faith developed. No, it doesn't happen that way. It might take years. But what he's pointing out here, and a very, very beautiful thing. He says, विश्वास कर मन वचन को चढ़ो आप संत की राह हो. Mani, you go the way Santa or the teacher is telling, and you yourself become Santa when you do some Vishwas, and when your mind and speech both are in unison. If what is in your mind, you speak the same thing, then you are already Santa. You see, who is Santa? The Sant is one who is transparently saying whatever he likes, whatever he doesn't like. He may not like few things, he may like few things, but he is honest in saying that I don't like this, I like this. Right? You'll say, Acharya ji, this is very easy. I can become Sant from tomorrow. Because you simply told that if somebody tells sincerely, in honesty, whatever he feels, he is able to tell. He is Sant. So I can become from tomorrow. I'll only be called blunt, right? Right or not? Sant nahi, blunt. तो संत के बजाय ब्लंत हो जाओगे. Okay, कोई बात नहीं. But understand, there is a big problem if you do it right now, right away, because I know in 100% earnest way you can't do it the way you are. And if you start doing, your life's problems are going to increase only. They are not going to become now finally, if you start doing, you will be pushed to become a Sant. Not Sant, you will not become Sant right away, but you continue doing this thing for 4 to 5 months at any place. Whatever comes to your heart should speak. What will happen? The world will not let you live with them, and you will become Sant. You'll have to become Sant. So sure, short way, this way or that way. But don't think that by just speaking immediately you'll acquire the quality of being Sant. Yes, but it will help. Try it. Try from tomorrow. But tomorrow you'll not be Sant. After 6 months, you'll say, Acharya ji, ghar walon ne hakal diya. Right? अब तो कुछ बचा ही नहीं, अब तो संत ही बनना पड़ेगा. So this way or that way, you will become Sant. करके देख लो. कबीर झूठ नहीं बोलता. He is not lying. So Sant की राह हो. He is very cleverly, he uses this phrase. Sant means who? I mean, in a way I'm saying, you will see the suffering of life more clearly. And the one who is able to intensely feel the sufferings of life is not in any kind of a dilemma or any kind of confusion about it. But the one who is sure that death is sure, the one who is sure that if I have come, I'll have to go. There is no doubt about it. No kind of a decorative wrapper around everything. You will experience the life in its own, the complete bitterness if you start doing that. So Kabir is using very, very cleverly, he is using चढ़ो संत की राह हो. तो संत तो बना ही दोगे. You are on the path of becoming a sant if you start doing this. Rah means you are on the way of sant. For a situation, you have 3 options. Either you become attached, you become repelled, or you become indifferent. These are the 3 options for every state in life. Now, when you start experiencing the life in its most crude, rough, or I'll say most honest way, then what will happen? You will not have the one option. Attachment cannot come. Only two ways left, right? Ignore or become indifferent. Now, becomes repulsive, or you run away from it, or accept it as it, right or not? Become indifferent. This is Sant. Even if you run away, where will you go? किसी बाबा के ही आश्रम में जगह मिलने वाली है. You run away from this life, then what happens is there are two ways to run away. One, you keep this body and run away from life. Possibility. Second, अभी मुझे कोई प्यार नहीं करता, लटक जाओ, आगे की यात्रा शुरू करो, दूसरे जन्म में देखेंगे. लिबरेशन पक्का है, ठीक है ना किसी तरह से लिबरेशन पक्का है. एनीवेज, व्हाट ही इज सेइंग, ही करना क्या है, व्हाट यू नीड टू डू इज, ठीक है, यू बिगिन विद दिस, दैट स्टार्ट सम मन और वचन को, विश्वास को, यू स्टार्ट विद दैट, एंड देन जो सूर रन में धसे फिर पाछे न चितवे काह को, काह हो. Now this example is very good. A sur means the one who is a warrior. One who is a warrior. And a warrior once enters the battlefield does not care. मरेंगे या मारेंगे. This should be attitude. यानी या तो मिलेगा, या तो वो मिलेगा, या तो वो रहेगा, या तो फिर मैं रहूंगा. That's it. This attitude, and I will not leave this battle halfway. Right? This battle I will not leave halfway. This is the tendency, and this you must remember all the time. Though I say it to everybody, but only if you understand. Some people come here. Some people come here. कोई ईशा करके आता है, कोई आर्ट ऑफ लिविंग से आता है, कोई कहीं से आता है, कोई माइंडफुलनेस से आता है, कोई हार्टफुलनेस से आता है, कोई थ्रोटफुलनेस से आता है. So many people come, right? और हम उनको क्या बोलते हैं? What do we tell them? Wherever you are, you have to ensure that you stay there. If you have come here, then stay here. Or else whatever you like, you do this program, take whatever is available. If you don't find it interesting enough, then at least find something interesting enough for you and stay there, like a sur. And the example I give, that you have to keep digging at the same place to arrive at water. You can't leave it halfway. Correct? So this is what he is also saying. He says, sur ki tarah, like a warrior, like the warrior who enters in the battlefield, then he does not think of his life also. I will fight till the end. Either I will win or I will lose. Doesn't matter. But I'll have to fight till the end. This should be the attitude. Correct? Right? So in one doha itself, or one chand itself, he has given so many things. Then he said, Sant Sura Bhav Nirkhau Sant So Magudhariye Mritak Dasa Vichari Guru Gami Kala Kashta Vidariye. Now here one word is used, Mritak. Now this is also a very awkward word. The sadhak has to become Mritak. Okay. Mritak, normal word, Mritak is the one who is dead, right or not? In India, हिंदी में जब न्यूज आती है तो कहते हैं मृतक के परिवारों को 15-15 लाख का मुआवजा दिया गया, मतलब वो गया. मृतक माना the one who is already dead. And here, that state of sadhak, when he has become the highest capacity of sadhak, it is called mritak. Now understand. Kabir is using this word for that highest state of sadhak, the one who is in this life but completely indifferent for life. You see. And Kabir probably is using this at the end of his life. He is dictating this, right? You understand that? Anurag Sagar is almost at the end of the life. He is dictating. So what he's saying and why he's using, he has been exposed to all the formalities of even the paramparas of his Swami Ramanand, right? And he knows that the one who takes a sannyas does his own shraddha, right? Shraddha means the one who has taken sannyas has to do his own shraddha. That means from that day, he is dead. He assumes himself to be dead. Now, deads don't desire, so he lives like dead. And that is why it is said that when in your household something auspicious like marriage, this, that is happening, you should not see a sannyasi. Sannyasi is not a good omen. You know why? You are seeing a dead body. Right? And that is why sannyasis never allow you to touch their feet. Right? But today sannyasi want that kind of, self-gratification. They can ask you for anything, but they don't allow. And they keep a distance from the living people. They're dead already. They have done their sanskar. They don't care now what will happen to this body. Even if I die after 2 days taking this sannyas, I don't have to worry that अरे मैंने तो अपने बच्चे ही नहीं पैदा किए, तो मेरा अंतिम संस्कार कौन करेगा, मेरा श्राद्ध कौन करेगा, मैंने कर लिया. So that means what? You have already declared yourself dead. So therefore, probably Kabir is, maybe he would have used for a long time this analogy, dead, mritak. Right? The one who comes on this path has to become mritak first. Now he will be explaining mritak ki qualities. Who is a mritak? The one who has died in the process of search is mritak. Right. Now what is this dying in the process of search? You see, without your identity being completely gone, you cannot enter that gate of the temple. You can't even tickle your energies with your identity on. Right? That means if you are still in your identities, you will be in the terms of language or in terms of hatha yoga or other things. You will be touching some, either you will be in Ida or Pingala, you are not in Sushumna. Okay. Be in Sushumna means you are now away from your identifications. The one who enters a Sushumna has no face. The one who enters a Sushumna has no name. The one who carries Sushumna, ignited, has no identification in this world, at least that moment. In the deepest core of his knowing, he knows that he is not this. So that means what? The first understanding probably is that I am not this body, and I already told you this thing, and many times over, I probably in different ways I said that this body is actually a dead body. It is coming to life only because of your own consciousness, chaitanyam, energy. So you are that conscious being who carries a dead body, and when you leave it, dead body remains dead body. Understand? See, look at it differently now. So once you understand, I am not the body, this is me through which this body seems to be functional, alive, living. This is not living, this is dead, this is already dead. Since I am here, it sounds like this. The moment I leave it, it is dead only. Think now. So if Kabir is saying this mritak, he is only talking of this attitude. That one who knows that he is not the body, at least he doesn't think that, his identification is not from the body.